Alright, if you're watching my videos, please hit that subscribe button. I need some more subscribers. And if you do decide to come over here to Mercer, if you watch my other videos, you can see that I like it over here. I'm making good money. I highly recommend it. If there was something I didn't like, I would definitely put it in my videos. So if you do decide to come over here, give them my name. And my truck number is 21033. And I believe I get some kind of little referral. And if I get that referral, we'll talk about that later. But I appreciate you watching. All right, let's talk about it. Why would you want to be an owner-operator? If you're first starting out, or if you're thinking about getting into driving, everybody has their own reasons for doing it. You know, that you can make good money no matter where you're at. I guess that's subjective, but driving a truck, you can make decent money. Most people are company drivers, and you can make good money at that. You know, some people like to find their job where they're doing their where they're, you know, getting home often every day or what have you, or on the weekends. There's all kinds of different avenues or different reasons, but so the number one reason that I hear people say that they want to be a company driver is for health care, health insurance. And so it used to be true to an extent years ago that health insurance was actually a benefit. It was actually free, and, you know, was offered to, you know, as a bargaining chip to get people to come to work for you. But it's not true anymore. And I don't want to get into politics, none of that business, but when several years ago, when they rolled out the, you know, the Obamacare or whatever you want to call it, all that went out the window, because at that point, if you were able to afford to pay, if you had a job and you're able to afford to pay for health care, you started paying for it, whether you know it or not. And then the people who refused to get jobs, or, you know, for whatever reason, couldn't get a job or whatever, you were paying for their health care. And I've had people argue with me, oh, my health care is free. It's not free. Number one, you're probably paying for it on your check to a certain extent. And then when you go to the doctor, you're probably paying a deductible. When I know you are. There's hardly anybody that has no deductible. If you are, you're paying for that up front also. So I know I'll get 1,000 comments on this, but your free health care is not free. So, you know, that's the number one reason people want to stay at their job. You know, somebody said a long time ago, people will choose unhappiness over uncertainty. And I've been there. You get in that groove, and you have people that are convincing you that, man, this is the best job you'll ever get. You're at the top of the, you're at the top of the ladder. You're making top pay, and man, you got all these benefits, and you want to stay in that groove. You don't want anybody to mess it up, because you don't want to risk it. You can't see the rewards in going anywhere else. And I know, I've been there, and I understand it. And you know, for some people, staying in a certain place, you know, putting in your time and staying there is worth all of that. And I'm not cutting those people down or anything. I'm just saying, for me, I wanted to move onward and upward. So the way that I did it was I started out, I knew I didn't want to be a company driver. I wanted to start my own business. I wanted the freedom in that. So I had to start out as a lease operator. And every one of these major trucking companies out here has some kind of lease program. And have all these people saying, oh, that's just a scam and they're going to take all your money and you'll never make any money and all this. Don't listen to those people. Like I said, they'll tell you anything they want to hear because they're upset about it or what have you. But you can make good money at it. You just have to work a little harder than most people. But the thing is, you're going to have to lease a truck from a company. Your payments are going to be anywhere from $600 a week to $1,000 a week. When you lease onto those companies, you give up your freedom and to a certain extent give up a lot of money. And the reason you do is because those big companies, all they care about is keeping those trucks rolling. Because at the end of the day, the owners of that company are putting a profit in their pocket as long as those trucks are rolling. So what they'll do is they will sign these contracts with these big big shippers. And the minute they sign those contracts, they're signing them for, they're trying to underbid everybody else to keep those contracts. So they're signing them for cheap. And most of the time, you're going to be hauling the heaviest you can haul. You're going to be maxed out. And so as soon as they sign those contracts, that shipper has control over their trucks. And what I mean by that is, they're not going to want to make that shipper mad. They want to keep their trucks rolling. They want to get every load they can out of them. So when that shipper calls and says, hey, I got a load going to Seattle, Washington, it's only paying 45 cents a mile, you need to get one of your trucks over here. Guess what? You got to go. You got to get your truck over there and haul that load for them. And very few cases, you're not going to have a choice. And when you do, and you turn down that load, guess what? You go on the naughty list. But that's the drawbacks to being a lease operator, being a company driver, the money and the freedom. Now over here where I'm at now, I'm at Mercer. You are a true owner operator. The only step up from here, is having your own authority. And there are advantages and there are disadvantages to having your own authority or being here. And so there's three main companies. I'm going to narrow that down to two. There's Landstar and there's Mercer. There's only one other company out there that I know of that's similar to those two, and not the same, but similar, where you have absolute freedom. And here at Mercer, nobody calls me, tells me where to go. Nobody calls me when I'm home for 2 weeks and says, hey, you need to get back on it, you need to roll. None of that business. And so I get on the load board and I pick what I want to do. I pick where I want to go. And if I don't like the rate, I don't take it. So that's freedom to me. And the money is really good. Well, the money, along with that freedom, there's a lot of responsibility. You can't just be taking off all the time or you're not going to make that money. But that's the freedom part. That's the number one issue for me. I love my freedom. So, a step above that is getting your own authority. And, to have your own authority, you have to have a lot of money up front. You have to buy your own tags. You have to pay cash for that. Here at Mercer, I can pay for that out of each check. Your insurance is going to be a lot higher, especially that first year, and you're going to have to come up with a $2,000 or $3,000 down payment to start the insurance. You're going to have your own authority. That you got to pay for that. Anywhere from $1,000 to, depending on who you get to do it or whatever, it's going to be around $1,000. What else? You're going to have to keep track of all your miles, where you've driven. Discounts. Your discounts, I'm sure that you can find ways to get discounts out there, but here at Mercer, it's just, they make it easy. I get my fuel discounts, I get my tire discounts, I don't have to go out and hunt, down the deals. But, the upside of having your own authority is if you're getting your own direct shippers, you're not giving up any percentage of that, except unless you're going to get that load factored, and that's a very small percentage. Here at Mercer, I'm giving up 25% for them to find the loads. I'm giving up that for them to factor. They're also doing keeping track of all my miles. They're keeping track of all my paperwork for me. All that good business. They just make it a whole lot easier to be on your own, be an owner-operator. But for me right now, this is a lot easier, a lot simpler, a lot more affordable. And at some point, I may go out on my own, but I will admit willingly that having your own authority is the ultimate goal, probably for everybody that wants to be an owner-operator. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. And so, is the risk worth the reward? That's something every person has to make that decision for themselves. For me, it definitely is. A lot of people dream about having 2 or 3 or 4 trucks, building their own fleet. It's a lot of times it comes down to what you're comfortable with, what you're willing to do, and what's going on in your life at home. Some people have to be home every day. There's just 1,000 different situations and 1,000 different reasons that keep people where they're at. But if you decide, if you're looking at this, you're obviously thinking about being an owner-operator. In my personal opinion, it's definitely worth it. And there's always somebody out there willing to give their opinion. Some people are more adamant about their stance on things. I find out that when I'm adamant about something, I'm usually wrong more often than I'm right. So I'm willing to learn from anybody. And so if you have any questions for me, if I can possibly answer them, just write, put them in the comments, and I'll do my best to get you the answer. But like I said, if you're looking at this, you're wanting to be an owner-operator, I say good luck to you. It's a lot of hard work. This is your office right here. And it's not always comfortable. You're not always, every week's not a profitable week. Truck is always on your mind. Every little thing about the truck, what's going to happen, you blow a tire, all those little things. So I would suggest that, not jumping out there too soon. Get some experience, get to know the lanes, get to know your truck, get to know the shippers, what they want, the different things you're going to have to carry, and all that good business. And you can make good money while you're doing that. It's not hard. So just get yourself in a good situation to start out with, build a good foundation, and then jump out there. And even when you do, it's still going to be difficult, but it's worth it. Good luck to you.